Hello and thank you for joining me for the second part of this two-part video series on how to create a video within your Brightspace announcement. We'll cover what you should include in the body of the announcement, considerations on how to produce and structure your video, and highlight some additional resources that can be utilized. If you haven't watched the first part in this video series on how to use the video tool within your Brightspace announcement, I encourage you to do so by clicking on the first link in the video's description listed below. Let's begin by talking about some of the important aspects to consider when designing how your announcement will appear to your students. We'll start with a title. This is the first thing your students will see, and it should be different enough from the other announcements to capture your students' attention. Think about how you could phrase the title to stand out from your other announcements that don't include videos. You might start with a title such as Video, Common Mistakes in the Module 3 assignment. Or maybe you want to post a coffee chat style video throughout the term with a consistent start such as Coffee Chat with Claire, and then list the topic. You can be creative with your titles, but the one recommendation we have is to make it clear that your announcement contains a video. We'll get into why this is important later. Now, onto the body of your announcement. A great way to honor your students' time is to highlight what you discuss in the video. You can do this with a simple statement or by bullet points. You can also add timestamps, as highlighted in the examples below. Another important item to include in the body of your announcement is a sentence that directs a student to view the announcement within Brightspace. Now, when students receive the email notification that your announcement has been posted, the email will include text-based content from the announcement itself, but it will not include pictures or videos. Since some of your students may rely solely on their email to view their announcement, they can miss out on seeing the video if they don't understand that they need to log into their course to view your post. The last thing, and possibly the most important thing we'll cover, is regarding the overall production of your videos. I want to use the term production lightly because learners are not interested in perfect videos or studio quality videos. It's much more important to be authentic than it is to be perfect. So don't worry about flubbed lines, a rogue cat running across your keyboard, or less than ideal lighting. Learners will feel more connected to you by just knowing that there's a real human being behind their course content. But speaking of lighting, while you definitely don't need to buy a whole new setup, make sure that your lights are positioned in a way that illuminate your face. I'm currently sitting in my sunroom, and I get a ton of natural light in here, so I don't really need to worry about positioning my lights in a different way. But if you don't have a lot of natural light, make sure that you position your lamps behind your computer or to the sides of it to make sure that students can clearly see your face. In this graphic, you can see some other helpful tips to utilize when recording, like having a glass of water nearby, keeping your desktop clear with a simple background, displaying any notes you may have to the side of your computer for easy access, and ensuring you have a decently quiet environment. You will have better sound quality by using an external microphone or headphones connected to your computer, so we encourage you to do this if you can so your voice will be as clear as possible. You can also speak in a more conversational way. Instructors and other trainers like me will often slow down for emphasis, but faster narration conveys enthusiasm and better engages learners. As for the video flow, simply follow how you would write a paper: introduction, body, and conclusion. Your students will be grateful to know up front what the video is about, and it's always a nice addition to succinctly summarize what was covered at the end. But how long should it be? Now, the ideal length of a video should be determined by the content, so the optimal video length may differ depending on what you are sharing. Research from the company TechSmith has shown that the majority of people prefer instructional videos that are between 3 to 6 minutes in length, so that's always an excellent target to shoot for. With that in mind, there may be times when your videos are shorter or longer depending on the material you need to cover. So, instead of thinking too much about time, ask yourself these questions. Am I addressing the topics I believe add the most value for my students? Can I make the same points with less words, or am I rambling? Would speaker notes or an outline be helpful for me to stay on track with my message? One helpful efficiency that you can employ if you wind up loving a video that you create is saving the announcement with a video embedded to use again in subsequent terms. You can easily do so by clicking on the HTML editor, select all. You can manually highlight with your cursor, or if using a PC, use a keyboard combination Control-A to select all the HTML code and copy the code using Control-C. From here, you can paste it directly in another Brightspace announcement using the same HTML code editor, or paste it into a Word document to save for later use. We have linked a tutorial in the video's description below on how to copy code from the HTML editor. I know that I covered a lot in this video, and I hope this has helped you gain a better understanding around the best practices for video creation. You can download the material I referenced in this video listed below in the video's description, along with other resources and tutorials that we've put together. As always, you can reach out to faculty support if you have any additional questions. And remember that while this is not a requirement for SNHU faculty, we have seen that it truly does add value to the course experience for students and instructors alike. Thank you for watching, and good luck recording.